Talking about the bailout with Congressman Ron Paul. Congressman, what favors are being done? How are people muscling people into it?
Well, what they do is they'll come and say, well, you could lose your position on your committee, or you're not going to be getting this, or maybe there's something buried in this bill. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll come and say, are you going to be a team player or not? You know, team player is the clincher.
Have you seen anything to compare what's happening with the phones and the emails and everything else? Have you ever seen this kind of reaction from the American people before?
I haven't. Our phones are ringing a lot. They're not clogged up because I think everybody knows where I stand. But yes, other members are telling me they have never had so many calls, and nobody indicates they're getting any favorable calls. So they've really put the average member into a predicament on what he's going to do, especially if they're being challenged, in their congressional race one month from now.
That's one reason why this thing failed today, and it's going to be reintroduced. It looks like it will be reintroduced tomorrow. On this program, I try to concentrate on telling you the truth because I don't think you're getting it very often. Good or bad, I'm going to tell you like it really is, or at least the way I perceive it. And one of the things that we have a problem with in this country is too many of us are victims. That's not who we are. That's who we've allowed ourselves to become. We're Americans. We're survivors. We have big problems right now to overcome, but let me tell you something. As a recovering alcoholic, the first step towards solving a problem is admitting that you have one, and we have a big problem. It's easy to play the blame game where everybody's pointing fingers, but you know what the real deal is? A lot of people are involved in this one. A lot of people have a lot of blame on their shoulders. The deal is nobody trusts each other anymore. We don't trust our government, and we're the ones who gave them power. We've got to stop this nonsense that, oh, well, they all do it. It doesn't matter anyway. Yes, it does. We need to remind ourselves who's really in charge and reconnect with honesty and integrity and American values. We need to be more like the grandparents that helped raise us. And while you may still have less, there is something about value. We have to make the most of what we do have. Even if you don't have much, there are smarter ways to grow your savings. There are smarter things that you can do to make sure that you're not in just a terrible, terrible mess. Joining me now with practical, plain-spoken advice for the average investor or the average person that doesn't have any money to invest is Brett Ahrens. He's a personal finance columnist for the Wall Street Journal, and Steve Cordasco, the host of the Big Money Show on 1210 a.m. in Philadelphia. Guys, let me start. First of all, both of you, the average person just got a 401k. I hear this all the time. Well, it's too late for me to do anything. Is it too late for somebody to do something with their 401k? Let me start with Brett.
No, it's never too late. You've got to, one of the mistakes people make is when things are up, they'll say, well, I'll deal with it at some point later. And when things are down, they'll say, well, I'll wait till things recover. You've got to take steps to rebalance your portfolio, make sure it's the right portfolio. And you can't wait for things to, quote, recover, because if you're in the wrong position, you may not be part of that recovery.
Right.
So, no, you got to take steps now.
So
don't wait for...
What is part of the recovery, Steve?
Well,
Glenn, let me go back. Our 401k system in this country is a very broken system. I'll pause for a minute and let that sink in. Today, the American people show that we have a spine. And if you want to do something for yourself, you need to go into your employer tomorrow and say, my 401k system is broken, because people can't do anything within their 401k right now. Because if you look at it, your investment selections are minimal. You basically have open-ended mutual funds are your only choice there. And if you try to break open your mutual fund inside your 401k, you're looking at outdated data. You can't find today's information. You cannot know whether or not your company today owns a company that's bad.
I mean, honestly, God, geez, Steve, I'm going to hang myself. Give me some good news, Brett. What can you do with it?
Do you want me to do what Wall Street's doing and sugarcoat it?
No, I want you to give me something that I can do.
Here's what the people need to do. If you want to go into your 401k and hope that you're getting current information, which you're not, it'll be 3 months delayed, by the way. But if you want to break open your 401k, here's what you want to make sure that your mutual fund is investing in. Real assets. Real assets like metals and mining, real assets like infrastructure, real assets that pay cash flow like water. And you don't need me, a financial advisor, another talking head from Wall Street to come on and tell you, just take a look at what General Electric is doing for all the millions of dollars it's spending on consultants to try to help that company get righted. They are spending money so that they have their business model in infrastructure, water, and real assets. The problem right now is they still have too much financial.
Brett, go ahead.
Listen, you know what? This is the kind of the CNBC route. I wouldn't advise people. Listen, you're not going to beat the market.
Hang on,
picking
Steve,
individual stocks
Steve.
or telling people to stampede into gold and stuff like this. This is, terrible advice. Most people are going to, either going to be too late, they're going to be the last ones into it, they're going to pick the wrong stocks. There's no question. Steve makes very good points about the 401k system. It's not what it should be. We should have total control over our 401ks. They shouldn't be sort of captive of our employers. Nonetheless, insofar as you can make asset allocation changes, when you're younger, you should be mostly in stocks and have some bonds. When you're older, you should be mostly in bonds and have fewer stocks. Right now,
hey,
one
Glenn,
thing.
No, wait. Glenn. Both of you guys, stop. Most people are worried about, is my job going to be around? Most people look at their 401ks. I know I did for most of my life, and you know what? I don't even know what the hell is even in that damn thing. What do you guys think about the advice of hedging against inflation for the average person? My advice for the average person is, you know what? I got 4 kids. I know what my 4 kids, I know what sizes they're going to be next year. I know they're going to need this, this, and this. My dollar has some purchasing power right now. Inflation is going to shoot through the roof. Why not? Can I beat inflation if I go and I buy shoes in size that I know they're going to use in the next year?
Here's how you do that. Let's say you have an education plan for your kids. You don't put it in the 401k style approach in a 529 where it goes into mutual funds. You buy the guaranteed accounts that go up with the rate of inflation.
You're not answering my question. Brett, you give it a try.
Listen. There's a couple of things you can do right now that are actually pretty good deals. It's actually almost surprisingly good. The first are municipal bonds, and the second are inflation-protected government bonds. Right now, given the panic going on,
do you guys hear me?
These should be
Do you guys hear me? Do either of you guys hear me? I'm sorry, is the microphone working? Do any of you guys hear me? I just said most people they're not, well, should I buy a T-bill? They're thinking, how do I afford food? If this is 1929,
are you talking about... saving money?
Glenn, you're asking about investments. If you want to go into somebody's job and how do they protect their job,
that is not what I'm saying.
If we go into a deep recession, here's how you protect it. You be the best TV guy or radio guy out there. There's going to be a wringing out of excesses in this country. There's too much stuff. Those that are the best at what they do will survive. For the average guy out there who's saying, hey, am I going to be able to afford shoes for my kids? You need to take a look at how much money, how much cash you're sitting on. If you got a lot of debt, no, you're not going to be able to afford it. You got to get yourself out of debt and get rid of the excess.
Okay, stop. Hang on just a second. Brad, we'll get your response after the break. Back in a minute.